Hello, Jax West from Stephen Avery Project. I decided to hop on and do a quick live right now. I'm only on my iPad, so that's why it looks all weird and not the usual when we're live. But I wanted to address some bullshit because this is gossip, right? And this is where we address the bullshit. So, I don't know if this is going to show me. I haven't done a live forever off of my iPad. So the video we did, the live video we did with Kim Ducat and Courtney Skinner. So I understand that there is a part in there where something was revealed, which is a really big deal. And it was that Kim Ducat, when she was 11 years old, was raped by Chuck Avery, who is her cousin. He was married and had children at that time, so considerably older than her. Now, in the video, Courtney is the one to bring it up. And so there are people out there online that are saying then it is not true because it didn't come out of Kim's mouth. If it was not true, Kim absolutely would have said something as soon as Courtney said it. Why would you let somebody say something like that right next to you? That is such a big deal. That's not true, right? So they were not sure going into the video if that was something they were going to reveal even. You know, it's not something that Kim goes around telling people. You know, and it's not up for debate. Look at Chuck's history. Okay? So this isn't just because, yes, there are women who will accuse a man of being sexually inappropriate, and it's not true. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So there is no reason to doubt that. Now, Courtney also brought up that she has heard that Carla has been raped by her father, Chuck, as well. And I know Carla has flipped out about it, rightfully so, because, again, this is something that is quite a big deal. And if it's something that she is covering up and doesn't want public, I mean, it's a big deal. Just know that this came from Stephen's mouth. Stephen said in a phone call that we've listened to, and all those videos of when we listen to the Stephen calls are available in the video section here. And I don't know why I'm not seeing anybody's comments, if anybody's even commenting. And there was an article that I know I've seen it in where Stephen says that Chuck had sex with his sister. That's what it is, not, but he's also said daughters. So Chuck has had sex, allegedly, with his sister, his daughters, his cousin. We know that Chuck also, did he rape his wife or was it attempted rape? I don't recall, and I'm really bothered by I can't see if anybody's commenting. But he choked his wife and raped her, attempted to rape her, and Earl did the same thing with his wife. So you've got a lot of evidence there. Then somebody just brought to me, and that's why I'm going live now, that somebody is claiming that Steven had sex with Carla. No, did not happen. Steven barely knew Carla. Didn't know her. He told me when he was free, he never saw her. She never came around, never did anything with the family. She was always with her mom in Manitowoc. So that is not true. Steven did not have sex with Carla, rape or otherwise. Hold on a second, because now Jeff is messaging me a logo for the rally for Steven. Oh, nice. I don't know if you can see it. That's what will also allegedly go on the masks that I'm gonna make. That I've already got the masks. I have the masks all cut. Then Jeff has to print them, and then I have to bring them to the person who's sewing them into masks. Anyway, Steven has had sex with Marie, which is Earl, Steven's brother Earl's stepdaughter. She was 17, I believe, at the time, and it was consensual. And Steven still talks to Marie to this day. Is it kind of icky? Yeah. I'll agree that that's icky for Steven to have had sex with Marie. It's icky. But it's nowhere near what Chuck and Earl have done. And Steven having consensual sex with the 17-year-old Marie does not equal raping and killing Teresa Halbach. Just not. But maybe I should try and pull this up on my phone then and see if I can see if you guys are commenting on it that I can see from my phone. Really weird that it's not coming up here. Or maybe nobody's commenting. That could be. No, it says there's 9 comments, but I don't have them. Or maybe nobody's commenting. Can I mute it? That could be. It won't let me mute it. Hold on. No, it says there's 9 comments. There we go. All right. Let's see. Oh, Paula said happy birthday. And Sonia, happy birthday. Claire, what did I miss? Choke attempted rape. Thank you, Leanne. Oh my God, I can't read this on my phone. And another happy birthday. And another happy birthday. Thank you for the happy birthdays. But I just wanted to try and put the kibosh on it. I'm sure it won't, but Kim's story is true. It doesn't matter that it was Courtney who said it. Okay? Bottom half of my screen is blurred. I don't know. Maybe that's just my bunch of chins. Yes, Billy Joe is saying, well, yeah, I don't understand why there's no comments on here. Anyway, yeah, there is that reward for, but it's a trick, you know, so that bulletin is a waste. That money is a trick because it says that the real killer, yay, Carol Ann says hi, what have I missed? So now I can see your comments on here and I can put away my phone. The real killer has to be convicted to get that money. So maybe it'll draw out some tips. Kathleen, I think, has claimed there's been some tips from it. Ta-da! Is that better? Now I'm lopsided. And thank you, Debbie. But yeah, so yeah, there's that bulletin and or bulletin board and the reward. And Carol Ann, and for those that just tuned in, what I was coming on for is I just wanted to put to rest, all these different rape allegations, so because there's people who say since Courtney is the one in the video who said it, then it's not true. But like I said at the beginning of this video, Kim was sitting right next to her. If it wasn't true, she absolutely would have said, no, that didn't happen. Because why would you let somebody say that you were raped by your cousin when you were 11 if it's not true? So, and we had gone to lunch before we did the video and, chatted a whole bit and stuff. So that is something that was discussed and unknown if they were even going to release that, to say that. I told them that video was all them to talk about whatever it was that they wanted to talk about. It was totally open for them to say whatever it was they wanted to say. I was being the avenue for them to talk about the corruption there and things going on there. Sonia says, saw something about a document that was sent to Zellner about Jason Zipper. Interesting. Courtney was there to, yes, Courtney supports Kim. Those two women are pretty tight. And also, Courtney has her own story where the same players in corruption are in her story. So that, that's why they were both there. And thank you, Stephanie. So, but again, to come back around, Courtney was raped by her cousin Chuck. It has been said that Chuck has also raped his daughters and his sister Barb. And Stephen is somebody who has said that. So I know Carla's all out there trying to do her damage control, and so is Barb. And they want to say that, I just like to promote drama or whatever. No, I'm about, yes, this is a group about the drama and gossip that surrounds the case, but we're going to tell you what's really going on. Carolyn asked, will Courtney be speaking about her brother's case on a live anytime soon? Yeah, I want to get that scheduled. It's just this week's been very crazy for me, and we've got the holiday this weekend, and I've got one job that I'm working and another one that I start on Monday, and so I have to figure out what my schedule's going to be, with those jobs on what time I have to, because those jobs are very flexible. They're just contractual, I guess. They're political. So they end at the election. So it's things I have to be doing that, so it's not a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job. It's something where I decide what hours I'm going to work for the most part. But I have to figure out for sure on all of that, and then I will schedule some lives. And right now, also next week, I gotta work out more what we're gonna be doing at the rally. So we've got the rally that is scheduled on July 25th. Oh, Sonia says, Carla getting mad because somebody called Bobby trailer trash. I mean, the trailer that Bobby lived in with Barb, it's nice. It's something that I've said before that I know people think that a trailer means you're living like shit. but it's not necessarily true. And I know that's a word that could set people off, the whole trailer trash thing. I'm a big believer in sticks and stones. I have been called every name there is. I don't care. I really don't care. And I accept my abrasiveness and my bitchiness. And so calling me a bitch, or I won't say the real bad word right now, even though I'm not offended by words and have no issue in saying them. But I know a lot of people are offended by the C word, so I won't repeat it right now. You shouldn't get real upset about it. Thank you, Tammy, for the happy birthday. Back to the rally. So we've got the rally that is scheduled on the 25th at Waupun Correctional. I also have the Radisson in Fond du Lac is booked, so they've got a section of rooms that they're marking just for, we're calling it Rally for Stephen. So if you call them and say that you want a room for Rally for Stephen, that's when, so all of our rooms will be in the same spot. And the rooms are $119 a night, and that covers breakfast, which, breakfast isn't going to be anything spectacular, and they have a bar there, so you get one drink in their bar. So I really need to organize there that we also want to do the car caravan. That's something we do a lot here in Chicago, and we do it a lot at the prisons and the jails. So it's something that people who are in the high risk category, and so they really need to practice social distancing, or they're not able to walk for 2 hours, can decorate their cars and just drive around the block the prison's on and honk their horns. So I want to get that scheduled. And then we're going to do like a happy hour at the bar at the hotel. And I'm also going to schedule some lives. So, Courtney and Kim will be there, so they'll be on lives. We'll do a live from the actual rally, and then we'll come to you guys live at the hotel. So, and I'm thinking, I've already booked my room for that Saturday night, but I'm thinking I might change my reservation and also go get Friday, so then I can just go up on Friday night and be good to go on Saturday. So, and then I may bring materials for people to make signs. I don't know. If anybody has any ideas or suggestions for the rally, please, message me and let me know. And if there is anybody from the Manitowoc area or that are related to the case, I would like to go live and talk to everybody. Still would love to talk to the coroner. Would love to talk to the bus driver. Would love to talk to a juror. If anybody from the Avery family would like to come talk to me, bring it on. Billy Joe says, if we cannot attend the rally, can we purchase a mask or t-shirt? Yeah, Billy Joe, we'll get that organized as well. It's something, and thank you, William. It's something that it's really kind of hard for me because I'm always accused of stealing money. So, and also there's times that Jeff has made shirts, like when we did the Brendan shirts, the more shirts that Jeff does, so the more actual like t-shirts he orders, the cheaper they are. So the more profit that would go to Brendan. So he had ordered all these t-shirts, and that first rally was 4 years ago now. He still has shirts to this day that, he stopped printing on them because nobody was ordering them. And so it was just these orange and green shirts because those are Brendan's favorite colors. So Jeff just recently, he started a new job and he needed a bunch of really bright shirts for the new job. So he's now taken the orange shirts that fits him. So, but we absolutely, Billy Joe, will organize something to sell shirts or masks for you guys that you could still get them even though you can't attend the rally. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do with the profit, and the thing people will have to remember is that means profit. So these masks, right now I'm only making 50 masks because I have no idea if there's even going to, people are going to want these masks. So I've only done 50. So I bought a whole bunch of fabric. That was $40. And then brought it to somebody to cut them up. Now, this is all a complicated thing. These are people who are part of the activist group that I run, that they've been making masks. They've made over 1,000 masks now. And I have donated fabric and elastic to them at times. And I had them make masks for another event that I'm going to be doing. But they're real particular, so they don't want me cutting the fabric. So it's one woman cuts the fabric, and then another woman will be making the masks. And so I paid the $40 for the fabric, and then the one woman's already cut them up. Now Jeff has to print on them, which we haven't done yet, and there's just not the time right now. So Jeff's got to print them. Then she wants me to wash them. And then I got to give them to the girl who's going to make the masks. And she says it'll take her about 4 days to make them all. And then I'm going to make a donation to her for, I don't know how much I'm going to pay her. So then that's another expense, then plus the cost of whatever the ink is from Jeff. So figured these masks are probably going to cost me around $100. So anything over $100, I'm thinking it would go to Stephen's Canteen. Lori says, not real experienced in watch parties, but for those who can't attend this, maybe this can be done. How about a major balloon release in front of the prison? No on balloon release, because it's bad for the birds. I know, I'm all concerned about everything. So, but maybe what we could do that night, Lori, also for everybody at home to, see, and there's Janet. Everyone who cannot make the rally should change their profile pictures to free Steve for the day. Nice. Make a mask that says repeating words is not a confession. Oh my God, that's, yeah. Oh, so that's so annoying, Sonia. So we will come up with something for you all to do from home. I've done a thing before where I've asked people to hold a sign that says, we all live on Avery Road. You know, the hashtag we all live on Avery Road, because what happened to Stephen could happen to anybody. You know, there's corruption everywhere. So, and then to have people post it on Stephen Avery Project or Here in Gossip and say what, where you live, because it's really nice that when Stephen is free, when he's able to go on Stephen Avery Project, if he wants, because remember, Stephen doesn't like me currently. Maybe it'll be different when he's out of people's clutches. I don't know. So if he ever comes to Stephen Avery Project or MAM Gossip, he can then see the support and how much it was all over the world. So maybe we can do something like that, where I want you to make a sign. Doesn't even have to say we all live on Avery Road. You could make whatever sign, like if you were able to go to the rally, what sign you would make and hold up. And take a picture of it. And you, if you're not comfortable of it being you, be creative. You know, not everybody wants their face on for everybody to see, and their rolls and their wrinkles and their scars and all that. So I totally get it. So yeah, we'll come up with something like that. Bubbles would be interesting at the prison. Yeah, because I know there was somebody who posted in Gossip making fun of the rally. Well, and that, why are we getting a hotel for only a 2-hour rally? Well, because I'm coming from Illinois and it's a 2.5-hour drive for me, and I'll just stay the night. Other people might be coming from even farther, so why not be there? And then there's somebody, why are you doing it at the prison? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's because hopefully Stephen can see inside. I'm sure you can Google Cook County Jail, the jail here in Chicago. I think there's a car caravan and stuff that goes around there now every week. And the inmates are putting signs up on the windows to say back to the, they know the people are out there in support of them. So maybe Stephen will be able to hear or see the people there. Oh my God, Stephanie's coming from Pennsylvania. Wow, that's awesome. Tanika asks, why doesn't he like you right now? It's an annoying story. The people who are close to him, mainly Sandra Greenman, who wants people to think of her as his girlfriend, and she is not Stephen's girlfriend, nor will she ever be. She told Stephen that I was talking shit about his mom, which was not true. It's they were saying that Dolores, her refrigerator was broken, and they did yet another GoFundMe saying the money was going to buy Dolores a refrigerator, and the money was going into Carla's Clutches, who I know does a 1 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me, 2 for you, 2, 3, 10 for me. So I said, absolutely nobody give any money to another Carla GoFundMe, no money that's going to Carla. And I said, if you want to support Dolores, send the money directly to her, or send it to Kathleen Zellner with a note saying you want this money to go to Dolores. So Sandy conveniently left off that part, and Stephen just believes it. So I've just stopped hearing from him. And he did this to me once before, that I didn't hear from him for 6 months, and then all of a sudden out of the blue he reached out to me again. So Stephen plays some games. Sorry, but it's true. I'm not going to lie about what, because Stephen encourages the drama. Let's just say that. Something else I've learned, and this is not something that is public, and I don't know if it's ever been put out there, but I think people should know. Dolores Avery is now in a home. And next to no contact with her family. It's COVID, so you're not able to go in there. So I don't know if that's something the family has put out there, that they have put Dolores in a home. They may claim that it's going to be like physical, or maybe it's like rehabilitation, but I know there's more to it. And it, so it's sad, and it's again showing how sad it is that every day that goes by is another day that Stephen's not going to be able to be with his mother. So I don't know if Stephen is able to still call her, but her visits have gotten less and less. But now she won't be able to visit. And I don't know if this home is a permanent thing or not. Claire says, it infuriates me that the family can't, and won't support themselves and their elderly parents, grandparents. Why on earth did they feel entitled to put their hands out to supporters? Exactly, Claire. Alan Avery has money. So, and then also think about all these people. Hey, Steve. All these people have 2 homes. All the Averys have 2 houses. boats, jet skis, golf carts, snowmobiles. They're not poor. Don't judge them for that Dolores and Chuck live in trailers. Or if Dolores doesn't now. Um, yeah. Why did I don't know the details of her going into I don't know the family's for sure reasoning if it is just to abandon Dolores because nobody um, cares to take care of her. Billy Joel Allen always stays in Crivets. That's another thing that Carla always gets pissed at me when I say that Alan and Dolores don't live together. Dolores stays in Manitowoc or Two Rivers, and he's up in Crivets. I'm not saying they're divorced. I'm just saying he likes being in Crivets and she likes being in Two Rivers. And sometimes he comes back to the salvage yard. So, and so Carla likes to try and call me out on that and go, they're not getting divorced, they're not divorced or whatever. I'm not saying they're getting divorced. They just live separately. Sonia, the only people talking bad about Dolores are the people who call Brendan a potato. But damn you if you call Bobby trailer trash. Oh, that's infuriating, Sonia, that people aren't quick to defend Brendan. And we will be getting back to the Brendan jail calls when I can figure out my schedule in what will be the time slot that I can get back to the Brendan calls. But Dolores is sweet too. Brendan's a sweet boy. Bobby, not so much. Teresa, yeah, it's common to have a second place up north in Wisconsin. Yeah, and me being a fib, I know you guys in Wisconsin call us fibs. Lots of fibs have places in Wisconsin. I'm all about it. I love Wisconsin. I spent my summers up in Coudray near Hayward. Loved it. Some of my fondest memories is being in Coudray, Wisconsin, and then going to Hayward, which is a big tourist trap town, where everything is. I love Wisconsin. When I went to go visit Kim and saw Courtney, being up there in Manitowoc by Lake Michigan is beautiful. FIB stands for earmuffs for those that don't like the language. Fucking Illinois bastard. They call us fibs. Fucking Illinois bastard. But we bring a lot of tourist dollars up there to Wisconsin. So they should like us Illinoisans, us fibs. Or they also call us flatlanders. So, but I love Wisconsin. And I love trailers. That's where Jeff should be home any minute because I'm supposed to be going to, my sister has a trailer at a campground, so her trailer's in a permanent spot at a campground with a lake and all that. And so Jeff and I are supposed to ride his motorcycle up to her trailer and spend the day there and float. That's why I'm in my bathing suit. That's how I'm supposed to spend my day. But Jeff's a little late now because he was designing the logo that'll get printed, and we also need to make a flyer that people can put up places. Oh, you've never heard of it, Teresa? Yeah, the first time I was called a fib. Well, my son is 26. And it was before my son was born. So probably like 30 years ago. It was the first time I've heard the word fib. Kathy Summer places a trailer. Especially if it's like my sister's trailer. She just upgraded and bought a new one. Is the one, the tip out. So it's got the two sections that then goes out. It's awesome. I love it. And I had a trailer for one season at a campground. Um, what do you need? You say trailer, I think mobile home. What you described as a camper to me. To me, a camper is like a pop-up. That's more of like a tent type thing. You know, the pop-up thing. That's a camper to me. And then to me, a mobile home is one that there's actual the steering wheel, the driving thing it's the vehicle. That you don't have to hook up a truck to tow it. That it's drivable. That's what I think of when I think of a mobile home. But a lot of the trailers that, like Barb's trailer, it's just a prefab home. It gets called the trailer, but it's a prefab home, that they put on that spot. And that's why she also has a basement, because you dig out the basement and foundation and you put the prefab home there. That's what it is. But yeah, people just hear trailer and they think trailer trash, and it's a crappy little thing, and it's not bad. Oh, Paula, not far from Hayward. I loved Hayward. And so it was my aunt and uncle who lived in Coudray on the Chippewa flowage, so their front yard was a lake. I spent all day long in the water. I love it so much, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is going to my sister's and going to float. Thank you, Krista. Sonia, I don't know if I can say where I was told about Dolores being in a home. Because people message me with information, and I'm never sure who, so I don't know if I can say. So, yeah. So, but I know. And I know I always say that I'm an open book. I'll tell you everything, but only if it's like mine to tell. So I don't know if that person wants me to say that they told me. That's the only time I like cover things up, like when Curtis Bussey, who I got Stephen Avery project from, that I paid him, and he didn't want anybody to know, so I didn't tell anybody, but the moderators knew and Stephen knew, and so that's how Carla knew, because Stephen told her, or one of the moderators did too, who's gone by the wayside, that went dark. Oh, Teresa's heart is in Chicago. Yeah, I'm there all the time. I'm about 30 minutes from Chicago, though. I'm in a suburb. So, but I'm in Chicago all the time for events and my activism. And then I've got a friend who lives there, so I go visit her and we do wacky things together. She actually is coming back because she lived in the suburbs for a long time, and she just moved full-time back to Chicago last year. And so she's got a doctor's appointment here on Monday, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna be back in the burbs, so how about I take you to a birthday lunch and we go for a walk. So I always tease her that she's slumming it when she comes back to the burbs, because she's just all about Chicago now. Milwaukee suburb resident here. I spent a week in Milwaukee last August, for activist event that I was part of. That it was a whole week worth of activities. I'm amazed at how huge Milwaukee is, and I went up to Milwaukee. Milwaukee is like the halfway point for me to Manitowoc, actually. And so it's, not that far, like an hour and a half drive or something like that. And so I went up there the week in advance because I had to flyer the town for the event we were going to be doing. And oh my God, Milwaukee is huge, and I was told it's sometimes referred to as Little Chicago, but it's not little. It is ginormous. And so I did a lot of different things in Milwaukee when I was there, and I loved it. It was really nice. So many good places in Wisconsin. So don't get down on Wisconsin. Carolyn, have I been to Canada? I've been to Canada once. I had extended family that owned a resort in Red Lake, Ontario. So, and they don't own it anymore. And so I went up there with my family when I was 10, maybe. And I loved it. And it was kind of weird too, because okay, so it's a resort and it had cabins, and so the cabin that was farthest in the woods, bear had gotten to and scratched all the screens. And then one of my cousin's jobs was the customers, or whatever you want to call them. When they would catch fish, he would have to gut the fish for them, and then he would take the guts across the lake. There was a big like boulder on the other side, and he would put the fish guts there, so then people from the resort could watch the bears come, eat the fish guts across. But it was beautiful, and we went like berry picking. And then in the town, I was all amazed too that they had those what do you call them? The planes that land on the water, So I loved Canada. And Jeff, my boyfriend, he lived in Canada for a period of time, and he says it's ruined him forever in eating fish, because he says there's nothing like eating fresh fish in Canada. So the fish we'll go to restaurants and I get fish, and he's like, I don't like eating fish in Canada. Oh, Debbie is in Ontario. Yeah, it was Red Lake, Ontario. It was called Bellac Stone Lake Camp. I don't know what it's called now. And I don't know how long it's been, because this is just family of mine through marriage, not blood. So extended family that, I'm not the closest to. Tanika it grew up by Manitowoc and is in Green Bay. I don't think I've been to Green Bay. Billy Joe lives in Fond du Lac, and boyfriend is from Two Rivers. So he has been going to Salvage Yard for years. Oh, went to school with Scott Taddock and has told me stories. Interesting. Billy Joe, will we be seeing you at the rally and the hotels in Fond du Lac? Maybe you can be our guide of Fond du Lac. Teresa, I always still Sheboygan. Sheboygan is nice at Lake Michigan. What I wanted to do this weekend is there is a route around Lake Michigan, to do a complete circle around it. I wanted, and it takes 3 to 4 days from everything I've looked at online. And so I wanted Jeff and I to take the motorcycle and do that. But not happening. Still waiting for him to get here so we can drive to my sister's campground so I can go swim. Fishing and camping here is awesome, Debbie says. Yeah, I'll go back someday. I haven't been many places. I'm not, I went on a plane for the first time like 2 years ago. So I haven't really, I'm not a world traveler, but I would love to go back to Canada. Billy Joel says maybe. Thank you, Debbie and Tracy. Billy Joe says he is hot-headed but hasn't seen him since high school. I will let you know, Debbie. Yeah, Scott, so in the times that I was with Scott, here comes Jeff, so I'll be ending this. Yeah, there's definite two sides of Scott. I've seen the hot-headedness. So, all right, Jeff is home. So I'm gonna, as you can hear my dogs barking now, I'm going to end this, and we will start going next week. I will get figured out when we can get back to the Brendan calls, and we'll get more things worked out for the rally and other lives. So, and thank you everybody for the happy birthdays, and we will talk soon. Enjoy your weekend and be safe.